This is Curtis at Ace Spread Studios, rolling out another sports talk. Gonna talk football, gonna talk about Atlanta Falcons. Question is, how will the 2021 Falcons offense thrive without legendary receiver Julio Jones? Now, you hear all the time, how can the Falcons replace Julio? It's very simple. They can't. They never will. They'll likely never have a pure wide receiver like Julio Jones. Again, it's just 6'3", 220 pounds, runs a 4.3 40, tallies up 12,000 yards, over 100 first down. I mean, it's just insane. This guy's career is legendary. He was a physical freak. To pick him up with the 6th overall pick, to get this much consistency, life out of a player at this level, likelihood that this is probably your best receiver in your history. Now, it's not about replacing, though. It's mitigating. Because the reality is, Julio was 32 years old, and like all great football players, eventually, Father Time, I know that one real well, catches up on you. And whatever kind of athlete you are, slowly it chips away until the once great player is no longer great and at some point unable to play. So at 32 years old, he played 9 games, tallied up about 800 yards. You know, I had done a video prior to the draft about how the best thing would be to trade out and pick up picks because you guys need them because Matt Ryan's got a limited shelf life. Didn't happen. Picked up Pitts, who I still think is going to be an excellent player. Not a receiver, not a pure tight end, something different. You know, maybe he'll get into that orbit of Jones. I don't know. That'd be pretty amazing. It would be pretty amazing if that happens. But the fact that they were able to trade Jones away, and you'll say, Julio Jones is worth way more than a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick. Yeah, in his prime. You know, he went to the Titans. Julio went to the Titans, and that's a great thing for him. He still probably has a year or two of great consistency. But for you guys to take that 2nd-round pick and possibly get a good player, a starter out of that, at his age, after getting all the tread out of that tire for all those years, it was a much-needed move. And it's better to trade him a year early than a year late, that Jimmy Johnson once said. And it's a lesson of sometimes paying early pays bigger dividends down the road. So you have Pitts, and he takes that physical, gigantic. He's 6'6", 250-ish pounds. He ran a 4.4 40 pro day, which is probably more like a 4.5 on the laser, 4.5 something. Still phenomenal. You guys got a good cast of receivers. I like Zacchaeus, good small guy. I'm going to do basically 2 more videos after this. One about Matt Ryan, because I see a lot of comments that people believe that Matt Ryan's kind of like not the quarterback to lead you someplace, and maybe he's on his way out. So I've been watching all your tape from 2020, trying to get it in my brain and my heart. And I'm going to do a film study of Ryan, just on Ryan. But then we're also going to go over the skill positions that are remaining without Jones. So this is going to be like one part of a 3-part series. But I like Zacchaeus, I like Gage, and Ridley. Ridley really... It's the thing is, like, you watch, some people, I don't watch SportsCenter, I hate it, but some people watch SportsCenter, or they watch clips, or they look at stats. It really doesn't do justice unless you're watching the player. And since I've really kind of taken the Falcons on for the 2021 season, been watching their tape and stuff, man, Ridley has really impressed me. And the more I dig into his film, the more I dig into his stats. Very, very impressive. So there was a lot of skill talent already on board before Pitts. And once Pitts arrived, with Hurst there still, basically Julio the skids were greased for him to go. And so you to pick up that second and fourth, it really, I think, was a good move. And I think you guys are in a really good situation to mitigate his loss. But what this video is going to be about is the very specific topic of Mike Davis being added along with Jalen Mayfield. And remember, you guys were, I think it was 27th in rushing attack in 2020. And so Arthur Smith comes from the Titans, the running game they got over there. So he knows the value of the running game. And I really like what's been done with your team. And so moving Julio allows some of these younger players to get more reps. It frees up your cap this year and next, and it gets you some picks. And as I said a little bit earlier, if you're a fan of the Falcons, you probably love Julio. I mean, he's all time. But sad to say, paying early sometimes lets you play a lot later. And a little quick story is I'd heard that my whole life. I was an impetuous person. I mean, if I thought something, I did it. I wanted, I did it. If I said it, I said it. And I didn't worry about tomorrow. I had a lot of people in my life say, come on, you got to think, don't act, learn to hunker down now and work now and play later. Finally hit home one day. I was working at a landscaping company and didn't drink a lot of water back then, drank a lot of stuff in that water. And I was carrying, at the end of the day, I was real tired and I had finished this guy's lawn, he was a real rich guy, and he had a hill up to a second area that had to be cut. Small area. It's almost nothing. But, I was the low guy in the totem pole, so I had to do it. So I was just so tired. I wasn't really thinking. I just said, I got to get this done. Grabbed the lawnmower, threw it on my back, and started muscling it up the hill. All of a sudden, I feel this cold on the back of my calf. I'm like, man, what is the gasoline cap open? I'm dripping gas all over. It stinks. I throw the thing down at the top of the hill. I'm cursing. I look at the muffler, and there's stuff bubbling on the muffler. What the? I was so tired, it wasn't dawning on me. I look at the back of my leg, and the back of my leg is this white stuff bubbling. I'm like, what is that drip? Is that some kind of fluid on the back? What is? And all of a sudden, I started feeling a little bit of pain. I had put the hot muffler on my calf, burned through the flesh, bubbled down to the fat, and it was bubbling. Big thing like this. What the? I said, I didn't even think. Mowed the rest of the lawn on the top. It was the end of the day. I want to go home, man. Want to party? Go home. By the time I got home, I didn't realize it. The whole cut, the burnt fat, and everything is covered in dirt and grass. Let me tell you, the lesson of being wise and making early, smart moves to pay dividends later was forged into my brain as 2 hours of crying and screaming. I had to pull that dirt and grass out of the gaping hole in the flesh in the back. Why didn't I go to the hospital? Because I'm still stupid. 20 years later, 30 years later, I like to think I'm a little bit smarter. But that's the point with Julio Jones. You could have kept him, and it would have been phenomenal. Great teacher for Kyle Pitts. But what if he gets injured? What if he's hurt again? You got something good for him. You made the early move. And now you have to mitigate the situation. And that's going to be the interesting thing, but I think you're on your way. And now we're getting, after my little story, young guys, please, 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 you really think things through. Don't worry about now, think about tomorrow. Don't be dumb like me. So, you guys added Jalen Mayfield, and it appears like he's going to slide inside. Originally, I just thought, he was going to be right tackle. I thought Lindstrom, because I really didn't know your team. I was just looking, stats, quick watching and whatever. Thought Lindstrom was a left guard. But watching him, obviously, he's a right guard. Mayfield's probably going to come and be that left guard spot, which is very crucial because interior pressure is the premier pressure today. You can look at Burrow, and that left guard missed that block, came on the knee. And the defenses now, they've realized that with all the quick passing game, the interior pressure is the quickest way to get to the quarterback, get him off his spot, and so it's the premier pressure. But this is a big boy, and he's agile. And if he can get in there and run that zone stretch, which I think you're going to continue to use, adding Mike Davis, people don't really realize how talented Mike Davis is. He hasn't had his real shot yet. He got a little bit of it last year. He's been in the league like 4, 5, 6 years. Very limited snaps. I think it took him a little while to become a professional and get his opportunity. But we're going to do some film study on him, and he is very impressive. Now, a lot of people think that the Falcons are finished. They're going to suck this year. I personally believe, like the video I did about punching power, the Falcons are going to have a very potent offense, in my mind, in my opinion, from what I see. And Mike Davis is an excellent back, especially for that zone stretch. And you look at Todd Gurley last year with the 27th worst rushing attack. We'll do a comparison of the two, Gurley and Davis. And you'll see there's a stark difference there. And when you see that extra production coming to your team this year, I think you're going to be impressed. So the least efficient runner last year was Todd Gurley at 4.64. He saw 8 in the box 21.54% of the time, which is another thing that bodes well for Davis, because you have so many offensive weapons that it creates fear in the defense, and they don't load the box because Ryan can make them pay deep. And I still think with Pitts added in, even with the loss of Julio, that's going to continue. Because remember, last year you had a very potent offense, and Julio was only there for a short period of time. So Gurley had 195 rushes. His yards before contact was 1.7. So he got 1.7 yards before contact, which that should improve with the addition of Jalen Mayfield if he's a quality pick. We don't know. We'll see. And his yards after contact was only 1.8, which is pretty low. Okay? And he had 19 broken tackles. Now, conversely, when you look at Davis, he wasn't the most efficient either. His efficiency was around 25th or something, but it was 4.5. Okay? But there's a reason for that inefficiency that Gurley didn't have. And that was he faced 8 men in the box 32.74% of the time, which means Gurley would see out of every 5 snaps 8 men in the box. Davis would see it 1 out of every 3. That is a huge, huge difference. But even with that huge difference, with less carries, he had 165 carries. He had less yards to work with before contact at 1.5 yards per contact. But yards after contact, it was 2.4, which was top 25 percentile. Okay? And when you go over the tape and you look at this guy and you think, I'll let the tape do the talking. He had 21 broken tackles. Okay? So this guy had a limited amount of contact, limited opportunities, and he made a lot out of it. And he saw a very, very hard front very often. So maybe you guys have done some studies on Davis. Maybe not. We'll do a short little study here. But it's pretty clear what this guy's going to do to your offense. So let's take a look at the tape. And then we'll get back and wrap this up. But I think you're going to be very happy if you're not already about Mike Davis. Let it roll. All right, so Mike Davis is going against your defense, which wasn't a class defense, but they were quality run stoppers last season. So you can see here, he hits the hole, makes one guy miss, takes a gang tackle, and picks up those extra 2 or 3 yards. Now that's critical. I go over in one of the last videos we did how a running back's got to make one guy miss. And that's what Mike Davis does, sometimes more than one guy, over and over and over. Davis also had a productive pass catching season last year. And you see he's not blazing fast, but he's got a little bit of juice and that giant body is. And again, keeps on breaking tackles. Hits the hole with authority. It's 1, 2. I mean, he just picked up 5 yards after first contact. And that's what you guys need, man. With all the space you're going to create because of the skill talent, he's really going to play a solid part. I mean, I think he's going to play a very important part to your offense this year. Here's another one. He catches a swing pass. He's able to turn it up. You see that spin move. He likes to do that. That's another 5 yards after contact. You know, he's got authority. You know, he's a little bowling ball. And he's just more forceful than you had last year. And I really love the way he's able to operate in small space, being as big as he is. And it's not going to take it for the home run, but that's what you have all this other talent for. Again, those tough yards. There's 1 or 2. Look, he's hit there, boom, boom. He's bouncing all over the place. And that's going to be critical for those 3rd and shorts, the goal line. He's capable to play. He's a capable football player from 0 to 0, from end zone to end zone. And that will go a long way for you guys. I just love the way he's able to break tackles. Look at that. That's a very, very nice run. You got him for a song and a dance. Sad sign of the state of the running back, but it's not bad speed. Those inside runs. His pass blocking's okay. Nothing spectacular, but not terrible. So that's not too bad pass blocking right there. That looks pretty good. That's pretty decent recognition of the pass blocking. Not great technique, but not terrible. I mean, again, a passing game, he's able to catch the ball, get upfield, and he's just physical. Just physical. All those extra yards are going to really it's going to add a different dimension. Those physical yards add a different dimension to your offense. Inside runs are critical. There's a lot of, that's a very nice run, man. That's some sharp movements for a big guy. I just really like what he's going to do for your team. I'm actually excited to see him run. More of the screen game that he'll add to you guys, and continuously breaks tackles. That's a big deal. That's going to suck up defenses to help out your passing game as well. Look at that. That's a nice little run. Good use of his hands, good quick jump cuts, bounces outside. Just overall, very good pickup in free agency. I think this is where he's going to really help you out the most, that inside power game. So overall, man, you got to be real happy about what's going on with your offense. We know about defense, but man, I really like Mike Davis. All right, so you got to see that tape. This guy is like a bowling ball. He's got Maurice Jones-Drew vibe. A little bigger, not as fast. But this kid breaks tackles, and he breaks them consistently. And this was with an impotent offense, a passing offense. Now when he comes over to your Falcons offense, say what you want about Ryan, he's still one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. You add in Pitts, Hurst, Gage, Zacchaeus, Ridley. There is going to be space. And Arthur Smith did wonders with Tannehill. He was able to script up yards. He was able to build around his quarterback what best suited him. And his zone stretch, when you guys really were hitting it, is when that zone stretch was kicking it with some good run yardage and some good run efficiency. And this kid Davis is you could see in the tape, big, not ultra fast, but semi-quick and able to change direction. And I think it's going to change, how much the defense is on the field. You can have a good defense. If it's sitting on the field game after game after game, it wears down. Okay? So you're going to see time of possession adjust from last year to this year, which is going to help a defense that needs help. Let's be pretty frank, unless something miracle happens. And it's going to bring the play action to the forefront. It's going to bring that. Play action is one of the cheapest yards on the field, especially play action to the tight end. So you're going to have Pitts in there, Hurst on the other side, play action block, have him scrape off, and now it's going to be him and Ryan at 6'6". So I really think just the run game alone, the addition of Mayfield, the addition of Davis, the addition of Pitts is going to help offset Julio Jones. Now, we'll as I said, Arthur Smith appears, I don't know how he's a head coach. He is a quality offensive coordinator. And I do believe Ryan's a quality quarterback. And after doing some mild studies, I haven't dug in deep enough. I haven't been entrenched in the season like some of you guys who don't like Ryan. But from my early goings, man, I'm a little surprised. Like I saw a few bad decisions early, maybe, but I'm really going to dig in deep, man. And I'm going to do a week-by-week analysis and be a long study. But I was very surprised. I really believe him. And as I said, Gage, a little inconsistent, but he's definitely your slot guy, short guy, tough guy. And again, Ridley is on the verge of being special. So I really believe this Falcon offense can be that juggernaut. It can be better than it was last year, even with the loss of Julio Jones, because frankly, he wasn't there for that much. So I would still be excited, Falcon fans. I could be wrong. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments. I really do enjoy them. I remember somebody had said to me Lindstrom was going to be a right guard, and I realized I was totally wrong. I was like, thanks, man. And somebody else said you could book it that they're going to draft Pitts, man. That guy nailed it. So I appreciate that. I like that. And then when we go over Ryan, I'm definitely going to look for your because you guys are going to have much more information on Ryan over the years. But I'm going to look over and see what kind of evaluation I can get from him, his tape from 2020. But overall, I think you guys are going to be good, man. I mean, I'm not saying going to go to Super Bowl or anything, but I would say it's a potent offense that's going to put defenses on their heels, and maybe you win it out like that. So anyway, thanks for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the film study. There'll be 2 more parts coming, one on the receivers and then one on Ryan. Hope you come back for that as well. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, comments is really football talk, because I'm talking here, but I like to hear you guys talk too. So hopefully catch you next time. Thanks again. See you soon, and be well.